Here's something that challenges conventional wisdom. A leading automation expert is actively telling potential customers not to buy their robotic systems. In an industry obsessed with selling more robots, that's pretty revolutionary.
That's exactly what caught my attention too. Instead of pushing $100,000 systems on everyone, they're laying out detailed scenarios where automation could be a terrible investment.
Well, let's dig into those numbers because they're fascinating. We're talking $50,000 to $150,000 for a basic Cobot Palletizing system, plus another 20 to 30% in integration costs that most vendors conveniently forget to mention.
The space requirements really jumped out at me. 300 square feet just for the basic footprint. That's like trying to fit a small studio apartment into your warehouse.
Here's what's interesting about that. They compared it to traditional industrial robots that need those massive safety cages. Those can easily eat up 500 square feet or more.
So what really happens when companies ignore these warnings and push ahead with automation anyway?
Oh man, the stories they shared were eye-opening. Like that food manufacturer who discovered mid-installation that their coffee bags needed $15,000 in custom grippers they hadn't budgeted for. The whole project stalled for a month.
You know what's wild? The speed trade-off between traditional systems and cobots. Traditional palletizers handle 15 to 20 cases per minute, while cobots only manage 8 to 12.
Right. But here's where it gets interesting. That slower speed can actually lead to better efficiency in certain situations. Like when you're running multiple products and need quick changeovers. 30 seconds to switch programs beats spending 45 minutes reconfiguring mechanical components.
The maintenance reality check was pretty sobering too. 3 to 5% of the purchase price annually, that's potentially $7,500 a year just for routine upkeep.
Though I love that quote from the plant manager who said, "I used to spend 10 hours monthly dealing with staffing issues and now spend 2 hours quarterly on robot maintenance." Sometimes the real cost savings aren't where you expect them to be.
Well, that nutritional supplement manufacturer case study really drove that point home. They couldn't expand their facility but used automation to run lights-out evening production. Their revenue jumped 35% with minimal labor cost increase.
And let's talk about that contract packager. Their pure financial ROI was marginal, 24 months, but operationally, their changeover times dropped from 25 minutes to under 2 minutes. Product damage went from 5 to 8% to less than 0.5%.
Though not every story had a happy ending. Remember that startup food company doing only 8 pallets a day?
Oh yeah, the expert told them straight up to skip automation and put that $100,000 into marketing instead. When their volume tripled 2 years later, then they came back and the investment made sense.
The whole vendor selection piece was fascinating too. That line about not buying robots but buying relationships with vendors who will be there when things go sideways, that really hits home.
You know what this reminds me of? It's like buying a house. The purchase price is just the beginning. You need to think about maintenance, utilities, insurance, and having enough reserve for when things inevitably break down.
That's a perfect analogy. And like real estate, timing matters just as much as the decision itself.
Looking ahead, I think we're going to see more of this honest approach in automation consulting. Because at the end of the day, selling someone the wrong solution at the wrong time doesn't just hurt that one customer. It damages trust in the whole industry.
Well, that's what makes this whole story so powerful. Instead of pushing technology as the answer to everything, they're advocating for thoughtful evaluation based on real business needs.
And they're backing it up with specific metrics. Not just vague advice like, make sure you have enough volume, but actual numbers. 15 plus pallets per day, products between 2 to 30 kilograms, 150 to 300 square feet of space needed. That kind of transparency is game-changing for the industry.
And that's really the takeaway here. Automation isn't about buying a robot. It's about solving a constraint in your operation, whether that's labor volatility, floor space, throughput, safety, or scalability. The companies that win aren't the ones that automate first. They're the ones that automate at the right time, for the right reason, with the right partner.
If you're palletizing 15 plus pallets a day, If your products fall in that 2 to 30 kilograms range, if you've got 150 to 300 square feet, you can dedicate. Then automation might be a strategic lever. But if you're at 8 pallets a day and growing, maybe the smarter move is to wait, or redesign your flow, or invest somewhere else first.
That's exactly the kind of conversation we have every day at Automation Distribution. We don't just sell cobots, palletizing systems, or end-of-arm tooling. We help manufacturers pressure test the numbers. We look at footprint, SKUs, changeover frequency, staffing patterns, integration complexity, maintenance expectations, the whole life cycle.
And sometimes, the answer really is not yet.
If you want an honest evaluation, not a sales pitch, visit automationdistribution.com, reach out to our engineering team, or connect with us on LinkedIn. We'll walk through your application, your constraints, and your goals, and help you decide whether automation makes sense now, later, or not at all.
Because the right solution at the wrong time is still the wrong solution.